Hello everyone. I'm just gonna make a quick video about just about Africa, man, economically and the African mentality, and this is why I think we need the re-education, the same way Mao did in China, where he just locked China from the rest of the world and re-educated the people. I think the African continent needs to do that, re-educate its people. The white supremacy reign on Africa has injected us with self-hate to a point where we believe anything that's locally made is not of good quality. You know, everything has to be ours. This is the same reason why the Nigerian ministers, instead of them buying I think it's innocent cars, which are Nigerian made, they preferred to buy Japanese cars. You know, but here's the thing. Toyota didn't start making brilliant cars. They got better, but because people were buying them. You know, Hyundai or Hyundai, depending on where you live in the world, they didn't start making great cars just from the get-go. They improved as time went. But they had support from their people. You know, if Innocent is not making good cars, the least you can do is at least have the government buy the cars. You know, then from there, at least give Innocent some money and tell them, use the government as a way to see where they can improve. And then you tell him what issues you're having with your cars and they start working on that to improve. You cannot improve anything if you are not getting feedback from it because people are not buying it. You know, and this is why we do so bad. This is where I say the white supremacy manipulation of our brain has worked so perfectly. You know, you go to any place. I was in Zambia and we go to a nightclub and everyone is buying Heineken. I'm like, why are you buying Heineken? Oh, this is, beer of real people. Or something like that. And I said, nah, give me the local beer, man. And I started drinking. And it was just as good. You know, and I started telling them, and this is what we need to do when you go back, because Africans sometimes get angry for no reason. When you start to tell them something they're doing wrong. Oh, you think you know everything. Eh? Just because you live abroad, you think you're better than us. You know, but that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, yes, I actually do know everything. Because it doesn't matter whether you live in some rich place in Europe or whatever in America or something. When you travel, you gain knowledge that your local people don't have. And yes, the people that have traveled had a bit of knowledge that the local people don't have. You know, and we need to start telling our people to say sometimes there's nothing wrong with shutting up and listening and learning from it. You know, so I tell the guys, I'm like, this is why you guys can't find work. You are like a biotechnician and you can't find work. You know why you can't find work? Because you are drinking Heineken. It's not locally made. You know, and the money, the profits from this go back to, I think it's a Dutch drink. You go back there. You know, drink some local beer. Drink some local beer, create, and beer is not hard to make. Beer is easy to make. Where I live, I drink local beer. You know, and we go to the local brewery and drink from there. You know, they make a little bit and sell a little bit, and they have their own pub where they supply local beer. And this is what we need to do in Africa. If even 10 pubs or bars in the city were brewing, we'll have biotechnicians working, we'll have engineers working, who have drivers to supply this working, who just create a lot more people jobs. The reason why you can't find your work is because you're not supporting the local industries. We have to learn this. Right now, countries importing hand sanitizer. And they have plenty of cassava going bad right there. All you need to do as a government, put $1 million, create an industry that makes alcohol and hand sanitizer and supply to hospitals and everyone in the community. Cheap. You know, and right now, what's happening is because some of these countries, the Naira, I think is done very bad, performed badly. Apart from, I think the Ghanaian cedis performed, I don't know how they've performed, but last year I think they were the best performing currency in the world, not just in Africa, in the world against the US dollars. I know the Zambian kwacha is performing badly. I think from the beginning of the year to now, its value is like doubled. You know, it's become less percent pretty much, like in the sense, like if it was 10 kwacha to $1, now it's 20 kwacha to $1. You know? So and what has happened that a lot of these companies that were opening up shops, like I think was Star in Zambia, that used to sell vegetables which were imported from South Africa into Zambia. And when you look at the exchange rate like that, it eats into your profit, and sometimes wiping out your whole profit. So these companies have no choice but to close. But the thing is, if these companies were owned by local businesses, employing local people, which will mean, you know, people growing it, people harvesting and processing it, and then getting it to the shops, this business will still be flourishing because it's local. The money stays within. Africans think, wake up. You know, don't go and buy Heineken. Don't go and buy Nestle. Find a replacement for these things. Find a replacement. Nestle coffee, buy local coffee. If you can't find local coffee, buy Kenyan coffee, buy Ethiopian coffee, buy Rwandan coffee. You know, please, let's change the way we think. Let's buy African just for once. Let's start with that. African, buy African. You know, if we can change that, our economies will start performing better. We kill our economies ourselves. It's like shooting yourself in the foot. That's basically what we do, you know. And also you have to rely so much on importing outside of Africa. But the reality is, I know in Southern Africa, in Zimbabwe and in Zambia, they had a drought last year. The thing is, Uganda didn't have a drought. Uganda bumper harvest with maize, you know. But the price of mealie meal to cook Zaza, Ishima, or Gali, depending on where you live in Africa, in Zambia, it doubled. You know, because now there's less, it's scarce, and demand is high, and they didn't want to bring in because most of these millers are foreign owned. So they started making huge profits from the suffering of the people, when what the government could have easily done is the president of Zambia or Zimbabwe to ring up Museveni and say, you know, I need 40 trucks. I need, 40 20-ton trucks to bring us maize. Who are you the money? That's it. Creating jobs in Uganda, the maize comes and the price of mealie meal or whatever you call it, depending on your country, goes down. And people are happy. But we don't want to do that. You know, and that's the mentality we need to change. We have to change, you know, to something with our natural resources. Countries that produce copper, like Zambia, you know, they produce copper, send it raw material to China. China process it and then sends copper wire. You know, you sell $1,000 per ton of copper to China, and when it comes back, it's $100,000 a ton of copper wire. Who's making money? You know, you're not there. You know, so what we need to do is stop, get the copper process, and we can do this. There's so much money. The thing is, we gotta believe in our people. Let everything be processed in Zambia that has to do with copper. Let everything that has to do with iron ore be processed in Sierra Leone or Congo or wherever these minerals are. And we are going to create jobs for our people. But that's not the thinking. That's not the thinking. Because there's always some white Jesus. We want to go there and we want to buy the clothes because these are the clothes they're wearing and do all those things. I want to buy Gucci. I want to buy whatever. And then you find out all these people, Gucci, whatever, they're like the most racist people you're ever going to meet on the planet of the earth. So you are supporting someone who spends nights thinking of how to exterminate you, and you're supporting their business. Africans, buy local. buy local products. You got plenty of land. You got plenty of everything. Some parts can't. They are not really good for like cattle because they get all these diseases and stuff. Forget about dairy. You know, you can get milk from groundnuts. You can get milk from almonds. You can get milk from all sorts of things, which is healthy and good for you. You know, fish farming. If we've learned, let's get fish farming. People are importing fish from China. You know, rice from China. And what the Chinese are doing, they are even sending people plastics. As in form of, they've cut these tiny little plastics that look like rice. And when you cook them, they've put these materials. When you cook them, it looks like rice. But when you eat it, it just messes up your stomach. But people would rather buy that instead of buying local rice. If there's a problem with local rice, you raise up that problem. You bring it up. If it means you have to go on the radio, you have to go on TV, say, we want to buy local rice, but we are not getting the best quality. What do we need? And then the government steps up and helps these people, the banks, whatever, help these people get this good equipment. If we can't get the equipment, we create it ourselves. I saw a guy in Nigeria who's created his own thing to create what he called as it's cassava, but it's casarina or something like that. He created everything himself. When the governments and have trust in its own people, things will start happening. Look what's happening in Kenya. Instead of them importing beds, it's a local guy that's going to make beds. I even saw a local kid who makes these benches that you can turn into tables. If we can do the same, we need those benches in public spaces. You know, instead of us importing it. You know, the problem is the people in power, we were brought up in the education that brainwashed them and just thinking buying things from these other places is better than locally made. You know, we need our education changed. We need the education in movies, on TV, everything changed. We need the movies or TV soaps that changes how we think. It's just insane. And I know Africans get angry about this when you tell them, oh, so you think you know everything? Yes, I know everything. You know? And that's okay, because you know what? I've traveled. I've seen how other people live. I've been to India. I never saw an Indian person or an Indian family watching an Hollywood movie. They all watch Bollywood movies. You go to Zambia, everyone is watching Hollywood movies. And if you tell them, like, why are you watching this? If there's no local content, at least watch Nigerian. You know, watch South African. Because what you're doing, you're creating jobs in all these countries. The problem they have, especially if it's in Zambia, they have a local a TV station that's owned by Indians. So they are showing them all these Indian soap operas. And then the next thing, everyone now wants to sound like an Indian. You know, why are we always like that? You know, why can't you create, you know, my cousins, their babies carry all these white dolls. You know, and if I tell them that that's wrong, why are you telling your own kid? You know, why is it that when you go on TV, you see an image that doesn't look like you? Don't you understand the magnitude, the importance, or the effect of television on you? You know, why do you think people all over the world think black people are savages? Or they got short fuse, they get angry, and they can do all sorts of things. Why do you think it's like that? Because that's how they used to get portrayed. In the movies. The movies has an effect. Goebbels, Hitler's propagandist, used television and TV and radio to brainwash people. You know, so if you go and see something that doesn't look like you, you start hating yourself. And then the next thing, people are bleaching their skin. 70% of women, over 70% of women in Nigeria, they're bleaching their skin. You know, that's mentally defeated people. Mentally you are defeated. It's the same reason why you buy Nestle coffee. It's the same reason, you know, why you are willing to buy anything other than locally made. And then you complain why there are no jobs, why there are no industries, you know. Because if we all stood up and say we only want to eat locally made rice, there will be a factory happening. But we don't. We all want to eat this jasmine, all this and all that, all this. And people are even forgetting how to grow these things. Because now we just rely on importing. In the Gambia, they even import chicken from Europe. In Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, whatever, they import rice from Asia. Last time I checked, countries like Vietnam, and they don't even have land. People live on water because there's no land. You know, you go to Africa, plenty of land, and yet we are importing food from people who have no land. What kind of nonsense is that? Hey? We need to change our mentality. Let's have faith in our industry. Let's create our own industries. And believe me, nothing comes out perfect. But people should not be scared to fail. Fail, stand up, start again. Fail, start again. Fail, start again. How do you think? What's the guy's name? What's his name? The one who did the bulb. He did like 1,000 tests to find the right element. You know, fail, but kept going. You know, if this machine doesn't, let's make something until eventually we make something great. And this is where I want governments involved and our most important diaspora, which are Americans, to come on board, and let's create an Africa or a black race that's prosper, that has prosperity. Thank you. Please subscribe to this channel, and we're gonna be posting more videos. I just wanted to make this a short video. I just had to rant about that. I heard about some crazy things happening where, you know, all these companies are pulling out of all these countries. The pandemic has had on some of these exchange rates, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Most of these currencies have been performing badly just because of bad governance. You know, however, people need to stand up. We need to stop relying on governments. The governments in Africa, most presidents are kiss-ass presidents. They want to go to Europe and hang out. You know, they're not interested in the local people, and we need to skip that. And this is why I keep saying we need the American diaspora on board. You know, we need to just link up and start creating things outside governmental institutions. You know, because the governments are not there to protect us. Eventually, when we can empower people, then they will rise up and try to go for what they believe is theirs. Right now, people don't have that education. Thanks for watching. Let's work together as Africans, as black people all over the world, and let's put everywhere you are, in the diaspora or on the continent, be pro-black. That's all I say. Or be pro-Africa, or whatever you wanna call yourself. But come on, pro-Africa is not where you wear a Chinese-made African attire. That's not being pro-Africa. If you're in Ghana, go to wear Ghana. There's guys doing that. Go and buy their stuff. Wherever you are, there's a local guy making local material. You know, and we go there and buy these things. When we do that, we are going to create, most of these places in Africa has like 70% unemployment rate. Just by buying local stuff, we can reduce unemployment rate by 60%. 60%. You know, and then by trading among ourselves in Africa, that's another 30% gone. You know, and these are the things we need to do. Thanks for watching. Be inspired, stay motivated, and we'll get there. Thank you. Bye.